What's up, you fuckers? How you all doing today? That's right. That's right. That's how classy we are here. I still don't even know if I'm going to release this onto YouTube for everybody else. I don't know. So if you are lucky enough to see this, you're probably thinking I'm an ass. Other than that, what's up, Patreon crew? I know for a fact this is being recorded for you guys. So everybody say, hi, Tesh. How you doing? Good?
I'm doing good, yeah.
Good. You killed yourself.
Yep.
I didn't tell you this. Oh my god. Totally recording this moment. So sorry. Should have said this. We were in chat for over 2 hours. Totally should have said this before I started recording. So on Friday, after your season finale, I was hanging with the Regicide crew, and like we're talking within, I was like, guys are gonna go live in like less than a minute. And they're like, all right, cool. And then like, we're sitting there, we're chatting, and I was like, oh, by the way, I didn't tell you what happened on Wednesday. Did you guys know Tesh killed himself? And people like looked at me like, what? You should have seen the look of sadness and horror in Tyler's face. He was like, what the fuck? And I was like, and then my brother Will, who was just joining, there was his first session or whatever with them, or whatever happened to be, he's just like eating and like watching like popcorn, what's going on. And they're like, what the fuck, dude? What happened? And I was like, no, he like jumped off the back of a bird and they're like, wait, what? And I was like, no, not like Tesh, like his character.
Oh my god.
Like, you think I'd be that cavalier about like fucking Tesh?
Oh my god.
So like, you scared the living shit out of me. I was like, no, come on, what the fuck? I was like, Tesh is fine, obviously. Jesus, fuck. Like, you think I would just tell you, like,
no.
guys, go live less than a minute. Oh, by the way, like, what the fuck's the matter with you? You should just, Tyler was about to cry. Like, it was, like, everyone was like, what the fuck? And my brother was like, I'm totally watching this train wreck happen.
Oh, no. Oh.
So, yeah, at least I didn't say Jake. You know, call that a win.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah.
Oops.
Anyways. Hi, Tesh. How you doing?
Good. Feeling a little bad now, but good.
No, I wish I could have recorded that. It's like one of those things where you almost wish like you could be there to hear like how people react to your eulogy, like what people write about you. I'm telling you right now, the other two obviously don't know you as well, right? But they had pretty Tyler legit like looked like not like at the camera, like looked at his screen, like he was looking at me, and you could see like the horror and fear in his face. I was like, oh, Tyler, you're such a good person. I almost don't want to correct this for you.
No. I'm glad you did.
Yeah, of course. I felt horrible that happened, but he's such a good human that, oh god. Anyways, it's nice to know you're loved. So to you, Tesh, you're loved.
I do. I love Tyler. Fantastic guy.
Not just by Tyler, okay? Let's not. Like,
I know.
Let's not give Tyler all the accolades here. All right. Fine, whatever. Tyler's amazing. Oh, he's gonna.
No, right. You're pretty good. Oh, you get pretty good.
God. All right, what we got? All right, so I'm excited to introduce your new character. Obviously, since,
I am too.
Yeah, you killed yourself. It's nice to introduce the new character since obviously Val had unfortunately passed away. This one's gonna be a little bit different than the other character.
Oh yes.
So I'm excited to see how like you RP him. Not even this session, obviously, but like moving forward, I'm excited to like, get to know them. So it's actually kind of fun because, go ahead.
No, I'm excited as well because like part of what because last time when I made Val, I was more towards the start of learning and to do D&D and creating characters. It was I'd only created a couple characters at that point. I've done a couple more one-shots and stuff since then, and a lot more of my characters recently I've given them a base and then they develop as stuff goes. So I sort of learn them as they go as well, which I'm really enjoying now. So I'm looking forward to learning this character as well.
If you have an open box style DM like myself or like Ollie and stuff like that happen to be, that's a really good way to design a character. So just come up with fun concepts and that you love and just allow them to like smash against the world and develop them in the world and with the PCs and whatnot around you. Ollie is another person that's really good at picking out cast members that like he thinks will kind of mesh well together. So that is another like way that you can do that. Unfortunately, not all DMs are that way. Some DMs have their like, this is my story, or this is my real world, or whatever. And so maybe you want something that's a little bit more directed, and you speak to the DM about it first, and you can still have fun in those campaigns. But like an open box kind of DM, like that's the perfect way to design it, you know? I'm excited about this character because we're one of the reasons why we do solos is so that you can kind of, as a reminder to everybody, one of the reasons why we do solos is so you can kind of like get to know yourself in this character's shoes, maybe a different part of the world and whatnot as well, which we will be here. But also it's kind of nice because this is a little different because even though you're getting to know yourself now, but then like you're also gonna have to get to know yourself later on. I don't want to say anything else, but you can literally look at Tesh and his beautiful, beautiful beard. And then you look beneath his beautiful beard, actually beneath his microphone, and you can see it says commoner, because literally your character is walking into your solo session as a commoner, which is not what you're going to be when you walk into the campaign. So spoilers, hey, there's going to be a transition that happens. So I just, it's going to be fun seeing you learn yourself twice, you know?
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm looking forward to it. All right, if we don't get started, we never will, because again, it's been over 2 hours of just like chatting. So it's like, stop hanging out with Tesh. She's not that cool, Scott. All right. Anyways, by the way, if you're ever available on your Tuesday mornings, my Monday nights, and you really like blah blah blah, what's that game with the looter shooter, blood something, border. Borderlands. You should totally hit up the Regicide crew. It's up to a 4-person game, and there's usually just the 3 of them playing. They can totally use a 4th, and I'm always busy, so I can never go with them on Monday or Tuesday, whenever they do it. So totally hit up the Regicide crew. Yeah,
I may do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love Borderlands.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, looter shooter seems like your style. So
yes, very much so.
Because I've watched you play other games. All right, we're here for if somebody wants to ping, if you don't want to hear all that podcasty style shit, got to ping. Starting this session now so other people can miss us being cool together. Your character, Ilen, was born and raised in Paradel. He happens to be Perrin himself, and so of course he was born a first-class citizen in Paradel. He happened to not just grow up anywhere in Paradel. He grew up in Juvencia, which is a relatively new province in Paradel. Now, granted, Paradel has pretty much always, it's been creating and expanding for several hundred years now. But pretty early on in its inception, it's had 9 provinces. It originally had 3 provinces to stop the Turumbar from killing each other. And then eventually, as they kind of evolved as a society, it expanded out to being went from 3 to 9 provinces, each Turumbar having 3 beneath them. And who knows, maybe in the future that'll expand out to being, would that be 27? It's 9 times 3? Who knows, maybe. But for now, that's exactly how it functions, right? And so even though Juvencia wasn't always there, another province would have been there in its place. The land would have been divided differently. Juvencia is relatively new, but still, honestly, maybe a century old, maybe a little more or less. Honestly, does Ilen know?
Probably not.
Does Ilen give a shit?
Probably not.
I mean, you live in Meshes, which is the hub of Juvencia. All provinces have their 3 major city-states or whatever it is that kind of breaks up the land into their different chunks or whatever they might be, right? But specifically, Meshes is by and far the most influential one out of all of them, and it actually controls the smallest area of one of them. If you happen to be looking at a map of Juvencia, which you can find those links, maybe I'll put one in the description box below, or you already have one, or whatever the case may be. You'll see that it's not too far from Durin on the map, and not being too far from Durin means that honestly, it's a tiny little chunk it takes care of. But that doesn't matter. Meshes in all of Paradel, which is arguably the largest country in all of Eroth, is the #1 slave trading capital of all of Paradel. Now, slaves in Paradel, as a reminder, is a little bit different than, say, slaves in Jovance or some of the other countries that happen to have slavery. They're not actually property where you can purchase them and you own them for life. they're inclame. They're people that are transitioning from being non-citizens to being second-class citizens, or people that are transferring from being second-class to first-class citizens. That can be a bit of an arduous process. But despite that fact, these people have value, and you might want somebody that's inclame that has certain skill set, talents that you want. Maybe somebody actually is inclame to be like a worker, but not a soldier, but you can convince them it's worth their while to be a soldier instead because they have the skills to be that soldier. It's only 3 years. You still got 7 left doing this. You've served 2. It's only 3 years. You could be done. I'm going to bring you these front lines. I'm going to give you the best equipment. Think of all the women. You know, like, so the market, it's funny because in Meshtez, the slave market is realistically less about buying slaves from slave owners to come to you. It is actually more about convincing the inclame persons to do this for you versus being over here. Now, there is, of course, a trade to some degree, because if I happen to have earned from the government my stipend of inclame scribes to handle this for my grandiose arcane library that I have, the government stipends them to me and I am allowed 100 of them. Well, you might come up to me and be like, hey, listen, I know the government gave you 100. And so you have the funding for 100. You keep your funding. I'll actually pay you quadruple what they're worth to borrow 10 of them for 3 years. So there is a bit of a trade where you'd be like, well, I'm inclined to be here to be a scribe. Oh shit, now I'm going with this guy instead. And so there is a bit of a trade that happens there as well. So it can kind of like come and go. One of the big things that's super important to say is that if you're an inclame soldier, you are always an inclame soldier to be a soldier on the battlefront. You're not some merc. You're not some like plaything. You're not some gladiator. That is 100% and completely illegal. But that doesn't mean it doesn't happen. Let's be serious. It's certainly illegal. And because of that, Jovencia, the province where Meshtez happens to be, has some of the most strict slave or inclame laws that exist. They're super hyper strict because they know what exists in their lands and they know what comes and goes from it. So they march so many friggin' soldiers trying to check this stuff out, trying to watch it, so on and so forth. Or they did, and people would still slip through for so on and so forth. They did, but before we get to Ilen, let's talk about something that Ilen had heard. I mean, he is a bit of a merchant, you know? So he hears what people say. What happens in the north? I mean, you've heard of Adir. It's kind of a wild place. Why would you go there? You can get eaten by like a great cat. Why would you go there?
Fuck that.
Fuck that, right? Like Adir, you're pretty sure there's goblins there. Owlbears? I'm deuces. I'm out. Like, why would you go somewhere where it's that dangerous, right? But recently,
This is dumb.
the rumors that you've heard, the dead walk. Yeah. Definitely not going there.
Yeah, probably just like not really believing it, but also not going to risk that. Just nope.
So needless to say, Meshtez, which usually has a lot of guards that patrol the area around it, so on and so forth, they've had to triple up their guard. So they have a lot more soldiers in the area, or did in the area for a while. And then they march them north. And they work the border of Adir. That just made Tesh uncomfortable.
Yep.
It's a good thing Tesh doesn't watch the other campaigns and didn't know there already were people bordering other parts of Adir.
Also, that would make Ilen uncomfortable because it's just like, oh, that's not good. Why they have to do that now?
So there are guards that are protecting Jovencia from the borders because the dead can easily cross those borders and have come south. There's rumors that there was a zombie. You're pretty sure that zombie is like weird word, but whatever. Great song. That came as far south as being like 50 miles from Meshtez, maybe less. That's frightening. 50 miles. I mean, you can travel that in a cart in only a couple days. All right, calm down, killer. It's not that far. It's not that close. But it's frightening to people what these zombies can do, and the fact that you can hit them with 15 arrows and they keep coming because you just didn't hit the right spot or something. So either way, that was frightening for a while, but did that impact Ilen's life at all?
Probably not. Probably not at all. Yeah.
Why?
Might have done good for his business.
It may actually maybe. and why is it that Ilen doesn't seem to care about these things? Why is it that Ilen doesn't give a shit?
Because they're far away. It's not that. I mean, as you said, that one's close, but it's not. It's a rumor. It's not too close. It's not something he has to deal with.
Fair enough. What does Ilen do for a living?
So Ilen runs a herbalist cart that he sets up when he needs a bit more money. Sells luxury things, teas, maybe some other mind-altering some stuff to the more rich folk of Meshtez. But he only really ever sets it up when he's running them low on cash. For the most part, he's just doing his own.
Now, is that because he comes from a background of wealth, or just doesn't care about money, or?
Probably just like not a background of wealth, but not a background of like ever being want for money. Like it's not something that's ever been an issue for him. So not really worried about running out. If he does run out, he'll just figure out something. He's always figured out something.
You said he sells these herbs, teas, Mondeldering from time to time, a little bit, because we're cool people here.
Yep.
So where does he get these from to sell them?
I don't think he'd get them himself. Probably just picks up what he needs from the various places in the market, puts it together the way he knows how. He's learnt how. Probably that part is probably self-taught. Probably the most effort he's put into anything, really.
So what you're saying is he makes a really good blend of tea. Like in England, people would be very happy with his blends.
Yeah.
That's why we dumped all the tea in the harbor, by the way. But anyways.
Yeah, he's figured out a couple of recipes that sell real well, and then he's just, I'm good, I'm done. Doesn't need to perfect it. He's done what he needs to do to get money. He's good.
So in Meshtez, like I said, the soldiers that had to gather here and then head north, north and somewhat east, they did so, of course, doing the job that they needed to do to guard the area. That changed because that was about a month ago. That changed the way that Meshtez functions slightly. Your character is not keen. You know, he is in fact a keen boy. He just maybe doesn't want to spend his time being keen, but he is in fact a keen boy. So he would notice a transition happening in the world around him as it happens. So when he notices that the trade kind of altered slightly without the guards that are there, you notice that there's a different influx of people coming in. Sometimes these inclame people that you're finding look a bit more frail than they otherwise would have looked before. Again, your character doesn't really care about these things. It's just something that he probably noticed because he's perceptive.
Yep. Yeah, so that would definitely be like he'd note it, and he'd be a little curious, but not curious enough to push him to do much about finding out.
Gotcha.
If he got the right person at his stall, he might ask. That's about it.
Yeah, of course. So this is one of those times where the character needs a little bit of extra cash. Let's be honest, it's not really because he needs it for like getting by, because he's got himself a nice cozy little situation. But, you know, he was thinking about getting himself some little extra trinkets or whatever it is. It's kind of like
some spending money.
Yeah. And so he's working his cart and he's putting his blends together. And various persons are coming through. One particular person that comes in happens to swing by. And one of the things that you notice from them immediately, just by looking at them, the clothing that they wear, the way that they are kept, the dirt underneath their fingernails, everything about them, they scream they're from Yovance. Which is funny, because technically Yovance is at war with Paradel through Jovencia. It's literally named in mockery of the country of Yovance.
Oh dear.
Here's a Jovansian, not to be confused with the Jovincian, which is obnoxiously named again. Yay, Peridot. He's here looking over your blends and whatnot, trying to see what you have. And you can see, like, you probably don't say hi. Or maybe it is just a simple hi to everybody that walks up to the cart, right? But you don't necessarily turn the charm on for everybody. Somebody who's passing through. You see that this person is kind of looking over your goods, and they're don't seem to be finding anything. They're almost like getting frustrated that you don't have what they're looking for.
Not finding what you're looking for? Need anything in particular?
Yeah. You got coffee?
Would I know what coffee is? I imagine not.
I imagine you do. Roll me an herbalist check.
Cool. Ooh.
Yep.
Okay. I imagine I wouldn't have it on hand, but maybe I might know where to get it.
It is not on hand, and coffee is not a super common Perrin thing. It is definitely something that can be found at certain stalls. Maybe one of the people you buy, a distributor, or like somebody you buy your supplies from, might have it.
Oh, no, I don't have any on me, but, I might be able to acquire some. Be a little, costly, but if you need it, I can get it.
How long would it take you?
Oh, not long. Looks up at the sun to sort of figure out what time of day is it? How long of the day left is there?
Honestly, it's around noon.
Okay. So, I could probably like go grab some now, just close up shop. It shouldn't take too long, I imagine.
I got some selling I gotta do, he says, gesturing back behind him. So you notice that he has 4 people that are bound to one another by ropes. He's like, you be back here before sunfall, and I'll buy some coffee off you. Don't get me no shit either, or I'll fucking gut you and put you on the market.
Don't worry, I'll get the good stuff.
That's right.
And when he says that, he'll realize what the other guy said and just sort of like hang on and look at the others behind. They look like the sort of weaker kind that he's seen.
Do me a favor. You can actually roll me a perception or sense motive, whatever you feel comfortable with.
Oh, I'm going to do a sense motive.
Ooh. Yeah, so you notice that clearly they're frail and like their physique comparatively to an average person. But that could be one of a million reasons. They could have just been malnourished or whatever.
Okay. It's just gonna choose to believe that it's the threat that people throw out when they're just trying to get the good deals.
Okay.
Yeah. So don't worry, I'll have it for you.
He's like, and then like as you're kind of like, he goes to leave, he calls back and he says, "Roasted."
I assume I know what that is.
You gotta roast the beans if we can brew.
Yeah, of course.
And so you kind of like, business isn't that busy today anyways. You already made a couple of small transactions. Actually, you can go ahead and roll me a profession herbalist check.
Okay.
You maybe made like a silver piece today. Maybe. Honestly, now that I'm counting, it was 8 copper. Cool.
Yeah, so it's probably not worth leaving the stall open. I'm going to go get the good stuff, make some good money.
Yep, there you go. I might make 2 gold off this,
Yeah.
So you close up the shop. It takes you about an hour or so, maybe a little less to get everything done. And you go looking for your whoever this merchant is that you deal with. You end up going with them, and obviously you're buying supply off them. You can just roll me a fun little diplomacy check to like argue with them over cost.
Okay.
6 loves you.
Oh my god!
Is that 3 6?
I'm rolling terribly.
Did you roll 6 6 6? You rolled 6 6 6.
I did. That's that's not good.
I say we end the recording now.
Oh no! This is gonna end poorly for me.
Yeah. I mean, at least we're like doing this in one shot. This isn't like last time where we didn't record, didn't have sound.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Stream Deck makes life easy. So, best Christmas gift I ever received. So, by the way, I fucked up with the Stream Deck last time. I just didn't know how to use it as well. So anyways, so yeah, you arguing with the person. Honestly, you did not get any form of discount for like the way that you bulk buy other shit because this is something you usually get from them. You end up paying like top dollar for it, and you're like, ugh, I'll turn a profit. I'm pretty sure of this. I just hope that guy's not too aggressive.
Yep.
Okay. Oh,
It is what it is.
Anything else you do to kill time before you go back to meet with the guy?
You'll probably go preemptively grab a drink he's going to need after dealing with this guy. Grab one, have it on standby.
Awesome. It cost you 6 copper. Well, almost your day's salary so far.
Yep. Yeah, it'll be worth it, hopefully.
Yeah, because you got a good drink, of course. You didn't buy. You didn't get no Corona.
Oh yeah, no,
You got
he got the good stuff.
A good beer. So you have your drink. You go meet up with the guy again. Eventually, he meets back up with you. You can see he's got a lighter load, if you will, and he seems a bit smug. I don't want to say happy with himself. Smug is probably the only word to work with. Like aggressively smug. So he comes like walking up to you and he's like, you get that coffee, boy?
Of course I did. And he's gonna, pull it out, get it on the stall. And what would I say the cost was for this? I'll say like what the let's say add if like the normal sort of serving is like I'll say 1 gold more for the normal serving, but if he gets like 2, it's 1 gold 5 silver sort of thing if he gets 2.
Yeah. So whatever it might be, you again roll a diplomacy
that's
check.
bonus, of course. Like that's like the cost of it plus the 1 gold thing. Yeah, the profit would be 1 gold, or if he gets 2, the profit would be 1 gold 5 silver.
You just roll a diplomacy check to equate it. No problem. No fuss, no muss.
Oh come on! What is these rolls?
After like arguing back and forth for a bit, he finally is like, I told you, this is the price I'm paying. And he draws out a sword and takes a step forward and says, and that's it. Unless you have a problem with that, I'm sure we can slash down the prices if need be. And the price that he's offering you is literally you turn a 2 copper profit, and it took you a while to get it.
Look, no need to. No need to do this. Okay, we'll do your price.
And so he gives you the money and says, "Ugh, just overpaid for this shit," and like takes the beans from you, having only left like 2 copper. And he's like, "You done? You can leave."
Pleasure doing business. He does like immediately like change face after he's like does the pleasure doing business, and then turns and leaves.
I imagine you go home.
Yeah.
Do me a perception check.
Perception. Let's see if I roll as terribly there. Oh my god, that's much better.
While you're walking home, you get this like funny feeling every time you like look around behind. Like you just get this funny feeling. Makes you like look behind you every once in a while. Maybe the guy just give you the heebies, whatever it is, right? Heebie-jeebies, right? And you always feel like, God, it feels like somebody's following you. There's nobody there. But you just get that, like, feeling.
Yeah.
Like someone's following you.
He'd probably, like, get near to home, sort of wait a bit, see if that feeling goes away at all, or if he can see anyone around.
So you get near home and wait a bit?
Yeah.
Is that what you said? Gotcha. So suppose if you're like trying to be like a little discreet about what you're doing, you roll a deception check to try to be like discreet.
Yeah, like make it look like he's got his drink. He's just stopped somewhere to drink, sort of thing.
If you don't see the deception immediately on your character sheet, you press charisma.
I got bluff.
No, my apologies, bluff. Okay. Not bad, actually. You're pretty good at
bluff. It's okay.
Okay. And could you do me a favor and roll me another perception?
It's okay.
You try to look discreet, and you're actually being pretty discreet, honestly. But it's kind of like sitting there, almost like you're pretending like you're taking a rock out of your shoe. You know what I mean? Getting that back in there, tying your other laces or whatever it is, and like sitting there and like adjusting yourself and like back, neck, whatever it is, and just killing some time trying to be discreet, being pretty discreet. You don't notice anybody around you. It was just you being spooked. You just like had a bad day. You're tired.
I need to get home and have that drink.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, maybe a little too much of the herb recently.
Yeah.
Is that like almost a paranoia side effect?
Yeah. No, he's just gonna head home.
So you make your way home. Obviously, when you get inside the door, it's a bit later than you usually get home, but you're doing something, hoping to make some money. When you come home, you have food sitting for you on the table. It's cold, but it's sitting there waiting for you. So it's nice of your mother to have done that, left that there for you. And then there's you can kind of like hear the footsteps upstairs. I mean, it's not like you have this amazing, beautiful house, but at the same time, it's by no stretch of the imagination a bad home. You can hear the footsteps overhead. Your mother worked hard to be able to maintain this kind of a house, since she's the only one that was here, and obviously you do your part to, I suppose, take care of your own lifestyle that you're interested in. But you can hear the footsteps overhead. Honestly, by that hard step of the feet, you think your mom and sister have been arguing, because there's like that clap to the shoe that leads you to believe maybe I don't want to go up there.
Yeah, I don't want to deal with that. Not today. Had enough today.
Yeah, imagine your character sits there and has his dinner, relaxes, whatever it is. Do me a favor.
Has a bit of drink.
Yeah, you grab whatever drink it is. I mean, honestly, you provide all the drink for the house, because she doesn't drinks all of it. Your sister one time took one. You made her regret it. So she honestly does pretty well for herself too. She works her busts her ass, but
a lot harder than Ilen does.
Yeah, she makes the house smell nice though. I mean, who doesn't like the smell of leather? But either way,
fair point.
And honestly, she's been seeing this other person recently, and you wouldn't be surprised if she ended up getting married and moving out sometime in the near future. So it's one of those, then you don't have to deal with her anymore, and whatever. So you're sitting there and enjoying your meal. I mean, it's like a nice whole loaf of like freshly made bread from this morning, and like a nice good stew. And you're able to sit there and enjoy it. While you're sitting there and enjoying your stew, do me a favor, roll me a perception check.
Ooh.
It's been quiet upstairs for a minute, but then you heard footsteps again, but they sounded strange. Almost a little too heavy. And almost like what caught your attention was like a scuffle. Like a off of, on like the scratching of feet on the floor, and then like that caught your attention, and then thought you heard a couple of boot falls that were maybe just a little too heavy. It has been quiet up there.
Ilen would put himself aside, get up and do that sort of like walk into where like the stairwell is, and just sort of listen up, just trying to. He's concerned, but not like to the point of like something's going on. It's just like, that's weird. What's going on, sort of thing.
So when you go upstairs, sorry, describe that one more time.
So he'd go to the base of the stairs and sort of sit looking up and sort of like listening, just like seeing if he can hear like if like someone's upset, or if there's an argument, like it's like the someone's quietly ranting to themselves or something like that, trying to just listen in.
You immediately hear nothing walking over there and kind of like leaning your ear. Really focusing on it, you're welcome to roll another perception check.
Yep.
With a 10, again, you don't hear anything up there. It sounds quiet.
He'd head up.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say like almost unusually quiet. So you start walking up the stairs. You know what I mean? I imagine you're not like jogging up the stairs, but you're also not tiptoeing either. You go walking up the stairs, and when you get to the top of the stairs, I mean, you know that like before you get to the top of the stairs, just to describe, there's a stairwell goes up there. There's when you get finally like up there, it opens up immediately into it's kind of like a hallway and kind of like a room at the same time. So it's like a very, it's almost like a room because there's actually a little chair in there, like a good sitting chair in there with like a shitty ottoman where you could just sit there, and there's enough natural light that comes into the room from like the window nearby. You could sit there and read, but let's be serious, nobody has sat there and read since you remember being a boy, and that's where Dad would read you stories when you were. But nobody's really used that chair in years and years. Anyways, off of this almost like small hallway-ish room that's up here, there are 4 doors that come off of it. There's your bedroom. There's your sister's bedroom. There is your mother's study that's up there. And then there's kind of like a storage room for like everybody's stuff. Your mother has the smallest bedroom downstairs on the first floor. She kind of gave you guys your privacy up here a long time ago. There's like a small, like almost like a storage room upstairs. It's like a big closet, right? Like a walk-in large closet. Anyway, so the closet door is always closed, right? The study room door is usually closed. You notice that your bedroom door is closed and your sister's bedroom door is open. You can roll me a perception check, actually.
Okay.
As you get to the top of the stairs, you notice exactly that. Your sister's bedroom door is open, but you don't see anybody in there. There's definitely like a candle or a light, whatever, inside there, lit. So there's definitely light coming from it. Probably not one candle, but like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Like the room's definitely lit.
In that case, what he'd probably do is he'd start walking towards it, just saying like, "Hey, Laura, what's up? What's going on?"
Nobody responds, but obviously you're saying that it's like only a couple steps, and then you immediately turn in and look into the room, and you can actually see that sitting there on the bed are both your mother and your sister with gags on their mouth and their hands behind their back. You don't know if they're bound or not, but they're both giving you like a wide-eyed, like frightened look. And that's when you don't hear the door to the closet creak open behind you and somebody come up behind you.
Yeah.
That's when you don't hear them raise a hand and clobber you in the back of the head. Give me just a moment.
Oh, dear.
Against your wonderful flat-footed AC.
Oh, yeah.
Easily hitting you. We never rolled for your HP. We can actually do that live right now. Your con is...
we did roll for
No. Not
this one. Yeah.
Technically speaking, commoners never take max on any level. You're just going to slash R 3d4.
3d4. I'm going to say 43. That's not right.
Hey, good on you, mate.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Not bad at all. So, what?
No, I was just like, 2 max, 1 minimum.
In the back of the head for 3 points of damage. Enough to get you stumbling forward. I'm so sorry. I meant to also add this. Sorry. 1d6.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Okay. So, in the back of the head, enough to get you stumbling forward and injured and so on and so forth, but not enough to like knock you clean out or any shit like that. So it definitely like throws you off guard and gets you stumbling forward. You're like, blah blah blah. What do you do?
So, do I have the small club I have with me just for shop to make sure people don't rob me, sort of thing?
So it's one of those things where your sister's a leather worker. I mean, she has all sorts of stuff inside of her room that's easily, readily accessible.
Immediately grab something there, something that looks heavy, could do damage. Anything. He wouldn't really be focusing on like optimal, just the first thing he sees.
Beautiful. So you can go right ahead and you kind of like reach forward and go grabbing for that. Do me a favor. Could you just roll me initiative really quickly? Now, I understand you don't really have a mini, so we're just going to drag and drop this bad Larry right here onto your screen. Actually, hold on. Don't do that yet.
Oh, there's initiative. Okay, I was trying to find it.
Yeah, but also don't do that quite just yet. We got to put you over here first.
Yep.
And then I got to go over there too. And then right at the top.
Oh, yep, I see. Cool. Click on that and initiative.
Of course.
Uh-oh.
It's tie. Now, generally speaking, tie goes to PCs, but you're not a PC.
No.
Unfortunately, you're an NPC class. And so, unfortunately, Ty goes to the higher dexterity. What's your dexterity?
It is 12.
It's funny. I rolled that with a +2, which means I got a 14.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Technically, you're still flat-footed because you haven't acted in combat yet.
Yep.
Which means your AC is still technically what, 10?
Yep.
Well,
It would be 10 anyway. It's 10 no matter what.
I think it's usually
He doesn't
12.
wear armor. He just wears clothes.
You're still standing. As he all of a sudden, what you see when you take the hit and you wheel around, you look, you see the same guy that just bought that coffee off of you, standing there in the doorway. And I don't know how immediately you react verbally, but we know that immediately you look, you see your sister and your mother, you look, you see him, and you're like, oh shit. And you like go reaching forward, trying to grab a club or something like that, and he reaches out and he just smashes you again with this like cudgel, clearly designed for like, it's almost like a fucking longsword, and how it's how heavily it beats on you. He smashes you again with this cudgel. That does another 4 points of damage. You literally have 1 health left. It's hilarious.
Yeah, so when he turned around and saw him, he would have like just had that sort of like the realization in his face and the fuck, and then the second hit, and then just immediately reacts by swinging back. So I'm gonna. Oh my god!
Oh my
I hit
God.
him.
You grab up the cudgel and you actually wheel around and describe your like panic swing.
So he would literally just like panic swing straight into like the general area of his head. He doesn't know to think like go for center of mass or anything. He's just head weak, hit head.
There you go, and you clip him. It's one of those things where you actually clip the guy. It's like you.
And there's almost that instant sort of like regret of, oh fuck, he didn't go down. I just made him angry.
He's like, you little piece of shit. And then he's gonna reach forward again. He's gonna hit you with a club. Once again, you hear like, and in the background, you know, so on and so forth. With my modifier and everything, I got a 22 total. I definitely hit you.
Oh yeah, he's going just onto the floor.
And just for funsies, -5.
Oh yeah, just he's doing that like hits the ground so hard he bounces a little and goes.
Do me a favor,
he's out.
roll me a Constitution save.
Boop.
Constitution, yeah, just flat that, yeah. Do it again.
Oh no.
Do it again.
Oh my god. Oh no.
There you are.
That's a little better.
So what it is your character isn't at -5. He actually drops down to -7 before finally his own body is able to stabilize itself.
Oh shit.
Yeah. More or less, it's going to be a longer time that you're unconscious. Unfortunately, Ilen is unconscious. While you're lying there unconscious, can you describe what Ilen looks like?
So Ilen is he's a parent. He's about 23 years old. He's young. He looks about average build, thin sort of face, short brown hair, just blue eyes, not nothing special, just clean face, not a scar on him. Very much looks like he hasn't really had to do much work in his life. He's not like lean, but he's not strong. There's no muscles. You don't see muscles. He's probably got some pretty nice clothes on. A little bit of a jacket, not anything fancy, just with some pockets. And yeah, that's nothing else really would stand out about him.
Okay. When poor Ilen wakes up again, he actually wakes up in a dark, kind of dank room. It's he wakes up with a splitting headache. He's in pain. Everything kind of comes to slowly around his eyes, his vision blurred. He realizes somebody's touching him, and it takes a couple moments, maybe even freaks out a little bit at first, before he realizes it's actually his mother and his sister that are there, like checking on you. Like, you're alive. He's okay. Mother, he's okay.
What happened?
Somebody came from behind. I think he came in through the window or something, and he well, he grabbed us and tied us up, and then you came up the stairs, and I mean, you clipped him, but he knocked you. We thought the way you hit the. And your mother hugs you and says, "Oh, in the name of Lady Aravel, at least you're alive." And you can see almost immediately, kind of like over your mother's shoulder as she's hugging you, that when your mother says that, your sister looks at her kind of like cross.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Aravel, I'm alive. But just what? Where?
Roll
How
me
long?
a intelligence check.
And when he says the like thank Aravel, it's that sort of like he's appeasing his mother sort of thing. He's not. It's not that he doesn't say it like sort of mockingly or anything. He doesn't say it like he doesn't believe. It's just, his mother really believes. Might as well thank Aravel.
Yep. You just know that you're in a dark, like stone like room. It's a dark basement.
These rolls.
It seems. Yeah, I know you suck. Sorry. It seems familiar.
It's okay.
It seems familiar, but you don't know why. It seems familiar. Like I know this place. I just don't know where it is.
How long have I been here? How long have we been here?
The sister says, almost a day. If I'm not mistaken.
Fuck.
We're not the only ones. And then she just kind of like gestures off to the side. This is when you realize that you're inside this bottom area, and there's like a door that like locks you in here. But the room that you're in is not small. Damp, stone, so on and so forth. I mean, your parents, so there's very little light in here, but enough that you can make out that there are. It was difficult, but there are other shapes in this place. Looking about, it's maybe including your sister and mother, maybe like 7 other people, half dozen other people. Yeah, including you, there's 7 people down here.
Oh, have you talked to any of them?
The sister said, none of them really seem to want to speak too much. Everybody's kind of in a bit of shock. The mother says, honestly, there was one more. Looks like he put up a bigger fight than you and paid for it.
Is it? If I look around, do I see like a body or blood where someone was, sort of thing?
It takes you a moment of searching around, but eventually, yeah, you do see that. Not where somebody was like beaten.
No, but like
yeah,
they were left there, and then they happened to pass away from it. Is what I'm imagining is what that meant.
Yep.
He would like stop and stare at it for a good 10-20 seconds, just looking at like that could have been me, sort of thing. Do we have any idea what's happening? Where has anyone come down and said anything?
Your sister shakes her head, and your mother says, honestly, the man that took us, he seems like he was from Yvonne's.
Oh shit! Oh fuck! That's right. That man, he came by my stall. He bought some stuff. It's basically no profit for me, but I went and got it for him, and fuck.
The sister says, I heard him saying something about getting profits now on the return trips.
He had this can't be. No, this can't be. He had slaves. He had Inclame. This can't be legal.
Your mother looks at you and gives you a hopeless look. No, I'm hoping that Lady Aravel will bring justice upon him for what it is that he is doing, but this can't be legal. And again, your sister says, really, mother? Now? Now is when you're going to call to her?
look.
And your sister, by the way,
Or
way more devout than you are, but obviously less than your mother.
yeah,
Like she actually believes.
yeah. If it helps her, let her. And
She looks at you. She's like, she says, "Ilen, do you not realize where we are?" And you can like look around again. She goes, "I'll give you a hint. Before they started changing up the way they did things here, when it was the old the old cleric that ran the place, this is where we spent our time as kids." And you realize you're in the basement of the Temple of Lady Aravel. There's multiple of them in Meshtez, don't get me wrong, it's a big place, but not too far from your house. Your sister's not wrong. When you were kids, this was run by a particular cleric, whoever it was, and they place was very like heartwarming and was very community driven, and you would have like a youth area down here while parents would be upstairs and they would teach you faith from a young age. You remember that. But then at some point in time, around when you were in maybe like 11, 12 years old, that cleric ended up leaving to go off and help aid in the war and never returned, who knows why, and a different cleric took over. They had a different approach. They were a little bit more intense of a Lady Aravel cleric. She was not a very nice woman. Nonetheless, the community part kind of fell off. Certainly gave you your own second guesses of the faith. You still lip service, but either way.
Oh, fuck. Looking around, is there anywhere that I might know here that is like a way I could get out, a way we could get out, or a way that I could try and get help?
Roll an intelligence check.
Oh my god.
Thinking about it
10
for a
at
while.
least.
Yeah, 10's okay. Thinking about it for a minute, you're like, you know what, honestly, that door is not the same door from when I was a kid. Obviously, it's been changed, but honestly, sometimes you guys would sneak out. There, like I said, there's a small amount of light in here. There are windows into this room, but you guys, when you were smaller, used to be able to sneak out of these windows because they didn't quite open or close all the way. But since this cleric took over, I mean, it's been what, 12, 14 years, something like that, since she took over. Clearly, the assets have not, the donations to the church have not been put back into the maintenance of this place. Look how damp it is down here. That window you would never have been able to climb in as an adult before. Maybe it's a little bit more beat up now.
So the door to this room, can you look through it at all, or is there like a bars, or is it full just wooden door, or something out the door?
It is a wooden door. Sorry, that door is wooden. So the door is like hard wood, hard to break through. I mean, you're not a strong person.
No. I wanted to look through and see if there's any like guards nearby or anything like that.
No, not that you can see. No.
Yeah, he's not a dumb boy. He wanted to make sure if he was going to do something, no one was nearby. But if there's no chance for that, then he's just, I'm going to go try and find anyone. I think I can get out the window.
Okay. So you go over to the window. Why don't you roll a perception check while you're checking it out?
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh, that's a really good one.
Adrenaline pumping.
So anyways, you are going to head over to the window and looking it over. And it's like I said beforehand, it only opens enough that you'd be able to look through the window. You'd be able to slide through when you were a kid, but no, that shit's rusted. That's like, you've seen rust on metal before, right? A million times. But this is like rust. This is like, it's that rust that's gotten so far in, so corroded. There's like pock marks in it. With a good enough, like, you're pretty sure you might be able to just rip the window open. Glass might break. Maybe with a good, you might be able to like break the part that's holding the window. But you might cut yourself. There's a few different ways you could try to open the window because it has, like I said, little joints on either side that are completely rusted. And the window is one of those like opens where it's like a third of the hinge goes in and like 2/3 of the window like open outwards. You just needed to open up or even remove it enough that you could get up there. There's no bars down here, mind you. No,
Yeah,
like,
so-
barred windows.
He probably would. He'd do the thing where he open it and just sort of like try and move. He'd try and do it with as little sort of force and breaking as possible, because he's not the sort that would be like, okay, I'm gonna no matter if this hurts me, I'm gonna try and like rip it open sort of thing. He would be trying to not make noise, trying to pry it open, probably fairly unsuccessfully, but he's gonna try.
Okay, so you can go over there and make a strength check for me.
Okay. Oh, okay. That's
Describe that one more time.
so he's trying to sort of like adjust it and open it without making noise and trying to not hurt himself, but he's trying to move it. He doesn't care if people in here see, but he doesn't want anyone in the hallway from hearing. And
He moves it in such a fucking weird way, trying to be this careful. His hand actually, like, even when he's looking back to make sure, like, oh god, it's being so loud, you know, so on and so forth. His hand actually slips, and because it's so old and beat up, his arm goes through a pane of glass, shatters the glass, and cutting up his arm, causing like bleeding and whatnot on his arm. It's like, ah!
he wouldn't be able to stop himself from yelling.
Yep.
Like that wouldn't. Yeah, he wouldn't be able to stop himself from yelling. Just fuck. Ah.
Immediately, your sister and mother come running over. They'd be like, "What are you doing?" Immediately, sister and mother would come over. They would look at your mother, be holding your arm, looking at the injury, and she'd be like, "Ellen, Ilen, Ellen, degenerates,
Ilen.
Ilen." And she says, looking at you, she's like, "Be careful." She's like holding your arm out in open palm, which fucking hurts. And your sister's like, "Why do you always have to be such an idiot?" Ripping her shirt, trying to get the spot to like tie it up, but then realizes there's a chunk of glass in there, and having to be like, "This is gonna suck." And she like reaches and grabs a bit of glass and pulls it out.
Fuck. Ah. Shit.
She like wraps it up around there and whatnot. You hear footsteps overhead after you're yelling that second time.
Fuck. Sit back down. Sit back down. Go sit down and try and like put his arm to like the side where it's not. It'd be painful, and he like wincing the entire time he moves it there, and then just.
You sit down. Another like 20, 25 seconds or so passes. When finally you hear like that click, click, clank of the door being unlocked and that of it opening up. What you end up see coming in is that same fucker that you saw beforehand. But you actually see behind him is a soldier. Not coming into the room, but clearly must have been standing guard outside of it or came down with him or whatever the case may be. But you actually see a soldier standing behind him. So he comes walking in. Doors left open. Soldiers left outside of the room.
Now, note: is it like a Perrindale soldier or? Oh, okay. Noted.
He walks in, is just walking across the room, and says, "What was that? What was that?" Looks around. All right, we can play this game. Pulls out his cudgel, walks over to somebody, kind of puts the cudgel underneath their chin, lifts them up, and says, "Huh, not you." Looks like waves it over at the others nearby. Looks them over. Pathetic. Even takes a step forward and hard kicks one of them in the side of the head, so like, ah, and fall on the side of the ground.
When he does that, there is like a stop.
You stand up. Oh, you say stop. He looks over at you
he
and
wouldn't
says,
stand up.
"Huh. Didn't get enough last time, T-boy?"
Look, I'm already hurt enough. And he's gonna like pull out his hand.
What you do?
He's gonna sort of just look a little bit in the direction of the window with glass broken and all that.
You got some spirit in you. You know that, right?
He's just like, he'd be just terrified, just silent, just sort of like not knowing how to react to this.
I have to ask you a question. If you have a horse that just won't do what you want it to, how do you tame that horse?
I don't know.
He takes a couple steps forward, allowing it to linger. Says, you break that horse.
What?
Your sister, she's cute, but she's also valuable. You know what she has? A trade, a skill, something that has value. You know who doesn't? And then he takes like a step forward and with a really hard swing and crack straight on the top of the dome piece, two-hand smashes your mother on the top of the head. Just like, boom! And she drops and just lies there still.
He would just be staring at her, just...
Don't get any more ideas.
What?
He turns and just starts walking out of the room.
He would immediately go over and... Well, I'm just trying to see if she's okay, trying to...
Heal check. If you don't have it, then it's flat wisdom. Honestly, you don't have to be skilled in it. She's dead.
And he would just start bowling, holding her.
You hear him say something to the guard. You roll a perception check to see if you hear it. It's not a low DC, because you're clearly a little distracted. You hear it nonetheless.
Oh, wow.
You hear it nonetheless. I don't pay you to stand there. Clean up the mess. And then the guard starts walking in. That guy walks out entirely, walks away. The guard comes walking in.
Ilen would try and stop him from taking her away. Just probably fruitlessly.
You start trying to like stand up. The guard immediately pulls out a sword and says, "Come on. Let's not have any more of this."
Please, what is happening? Why is it why are you helping him? What's going on?
She'll be burned. She'll get a burial.
How are you okay with this?
If you keep talking to me, I'm gonna have to kill you. Just stop. And he's like, and when you kind of like sink back just a little bit, he puts the sword away and then grabs her with his hands and starts dragging her across the floor.
He would just sit down, just watch, just...
The door eventually closes, locks, and you can hear the thump, thump, thump of him dragging it up the stairs. Your sister just... She's got caught between anger and horror and sadness. And first she punches you in the side of the head. It's her reaction. And then she like wraps her arms around you and just sobs with you.
I don't think he'd do much. Well, he'd sit there like that for a long time.
After you guys are there for, unfortunately, a few more hours, right next to a small little pool of, well, you get it. The door eventually opens up again. And he's there. And he's like, everybody up. Let's go upstairs. Let's go. It's nighttime. We got to start moving. And so everybody kind of gets up and starts shuffling their way out of the room. Looking about them, now that you can kind of see them better as you go into the hallway and everything, not that you're really paying attention too much, but you're a keen person again. So you kind of like notice details. These are not just people. You've seen them before. Like, you're not close to them, but like, that's, you're pretty sure that's that girl you grew up with when you were a kid. That's her husband. Holy shit! Oh my god! You used to argue with that guy in the marketplace until you stopped seeing him, like maybe a year or so ago. Maybe, you know, he went to a different market or different times. You honestly weren't that religious of how you purchase your shit. Like, these are all citizens that are here that you see are being herded upstairs. When you're herded back out into the main area of the church, it is again, like I said, nighttime. And you're herded out into the church, so it's dark, but definitely bright enough that you can see this candlelight and whatnot inside here too. The few guards, 3 of them, that are up there, none of them seem to be too happy with what they're doing, but they don't say anything, they don't complain, they're just doing their job. And you see him, who seems to be happy with the score that he got. Now there's 6 of you, right? Including your mother? Now there's 6 of, sorry, including your sister, 6 of you.
Yep.
He goes, half dozen's easiest to transport, isn't it? He says, like, watching the last of you come up. And then the guard that's next to him just kind of grunts. You see also inside the upstairs is that cleric I had mentioned beforehand. The woman that took over at some point in time when you were about 10, 11, 12, somewhere in that range. And she's looking at all of you as you come walking in.
He would definitely look at her with like why that sort of look. Like, he wouldn't be saying anything, he's too scared to right now, but he would be giving that sort of look.
You're the only one looking. Everybody else is looking down. Everybody else is kind of, you know, your sister is kind of sometimes looking to you. She's not a meek person, but she just lost her mother. And, well, you're not estranged from your mother by any stretch. Her and your mother were definitely closer, because you always kind of like did your own thing, whereas they always spent their time together. She's not a meek person by any stretch, but right now she has no fight in her. She sees you look at her. She sees that look in your eye, and she says, "Do you have a question?"
He would honestly look like, not realize that it was at him at first, and then realize, look to the guy. How's he reacted to the fact she's asked him that?
He doesn't give a shit. I suppose mildly curious. Like, it's one of those, like, you just realize your friend picked up an apple, and so you're like, oh, I picked up an apple. like that much curiosity. Is that a Macintosh or
he would
Cortland?
So he would look back at her and just sort of
speak.
What's happening? Why is this happening? He's looking to the others, like showing that he knows some of them. It's like,
you think your devotion, she says, stepping forward, and you can see, like, she was not addressing to you directly, but kind of like everybody, including the guards. You think your devotion to Lady Aravel is going to give you some degree of salvation. You think your devotion to this goddess, she says, gesturing to her own robes, is what is going to bring you to peace or harmony in the afterlife? Tolerance, obedience, and worship. These are beautiful tenets. And if you properly go along with them, maybe you'll be one of the lucky few that does find salvation this way. But honestly, how many of you here are truly tolerant? How many of you are truly obedient? Though I imagine you will be soon, won't you? You can almost see this as an opportunity to get closer to your goddess. How many of you truly worship? How many of you have I seen in this church recently? No. Besides, Aravel doesn't get her power from you lip service lot. Aravel gets her power from passion. Aravel gets her power from her pact. How many of you are truly passionate? Maybe you're good at what you do. Maybe you're terrible. Maybe you know how to fuck your wife or husband. Maybe you know how to make them smile, but do you really put in that extra effort? She looks at you and says, is it a good tea? Really? Aravel doesn't get her power from you. She gets her power from the passion of the nation. That's where she gets it from. From her union with Kraleen. From their bond. I worship Lady Aravel, truly. I accept all that deserve it. And I am obedient. Lady Aravel gets her power from the fire, from the burning desire, from the flame within Paradel. The only way to make her more powerful is to prune the weak. Like a garden, I am her scissors. I am her shears. I am her pruning tool.
He would start he would look to the soldiers, look back. He'd be doing frantically looking around, just hoping for someone to be like, "This is fucking crazy." Of course, none of them are going to do that, I imagine. But
she's a
looking
cleric
around
of Lady
for one of
Aravel.
them.
She has a degree of authority here. What she's doing is obviously illegal, but written by the laws, as far as you understand. You're like, I'm not in Clemay. I don't need to be. Maybe the soldiers don't know. Who knows? But go ahead.
He's not saying anything. He's looking to them for help, or looking to them to realize the insanity of what's happening. But he's not. I don't think he'd say anything yet. He just.
So as you're looking about that way, she says, "You still don't see it, do you? You could have been a good pupil, but you stopped coming all those years ago. Allow me to show you the lessons you could have learned." She walks forward, and she, of course, wears around her neck, Lady Aravel, what's it called? Effigy. Oh, anyway. A Lady Aravel effigy that's there. She comes forward, and the thing is, of course, made out of, steel or iron or whatever it is. And the symbol is literally a scepter that is also a bastard sword. You know what I mean? It's one of those,
Yeah.
It's a effigy of Lady Aravel. It's a scepter that's also a bastard sword. She walks forward towards you. She's grabbing this thing, and she pulls it free. She hands it to you. Says, "Do you feel it? Do you feel her in your heart?"
He's gonna look at it. I assume he feels nothing.
Of course not. I mean, honestly, the Vigilant,
Yeah.
the Lady of War, the Dark Maiden. Come on.
Sort of looks up at her, panicked.
Look within.
I don't understand.
Look within.
So this effigy thing, is it openable?
Looking down at it and kind of searching over, it's not something that you would ever notice just by holding it. But searching your finger gently around the edge and whatnot, you do find a little bit of a catch that's there. If you've ever opened a locket, real life, open like a small locket, and how it's like a fucking pain in the ass, even though it's clearly designed to be opened, it's kind of like one of those. Like, it's like, there's a little catch that you realize you can barely get your thumbnail in, and then with the right amount of pressure, and it legitimately hurts your nail. Like you feel your nail chip a little bit in the corner, but you pop it, and inside you see the strangest little thing. It's not large at all. Actually, the craftsmanship it must have taken to create such a thing. There's a small figurine. Honestly, it's something that you would have liked as a kid because it's small. I mean, it's like small size, mini small, of a scantily clad woman. The design is beautiful for how small it is. A scantily clad woman, barely covered in armor on her. You can barely make out her face, but what you can, she's beautiful. It's sitting there right in your hand, and you pop the thing open, it swings open, you see it there.
He just sort of looks at it. What is it?
It's the Enkindler. Go ahead. Take it.
He's gonna very sort of hesitantly take it out of the thing.
As you're reaching to take it, she goes, my, you are obedient. As you hold the thing, you take it out, and you can actually feel it's warm to the touch. No, it is hot to the touch. Oh my God. It is burning your hand as you're holding it.
If it's like burning, he's gonna go to like put it back because it's hot.
You go immediately try to put it back because it's burning. She quickly steps forward and grabs your hand and holds it shut so it continues to burn in your hand. She goes, you have no passion? You have no fire? You can't take it? You dare, you deem to ask me questions, but then don't want to learn the lessons that the questions don't want to learn the lessons that the questions can teach you? How dare you, you insolent little worm. And she like, again, holds your hand to the point where if there was nothing in your hand, the way she's holding would hurt. The way her fingers are digging into you would hurt. If there was nothing in your hands, if there was just a little effigy in your hands, the way she's holding it would be digging into your hand from the inside because the pressure she's putting onto it. But the fact that this thing is supernaturally hot and literally burning you from the inside as well, the pain is overwhelming. The pain it's too much to bear. It literally
he would
cripples
be screaming.
you. Yeah, like ah!
And he would be like, whichever hand is not holding it, he'll be trying to like get her hands off to try and open his hand.
Of course. And the guards again are like looking about and being like, what the fuck? Don't really speak too loud. And even that guy is like, what the fuck is she doing? Like the one that captured you originally. Yeah. And you try to paw it off. You can actually technically roll me a CMB. However, her CMD ain't low. Appropriate.
Yeah, that's
you try to paw her hand off, and literally as you're trying to paw her hand off, she kind of gets annoyed with it, and she grabs your hand from the other side and twists the finger back and breaks it. And then
he would yell. He would yell real loud.
It's one of those. Maybe it's not technically broken. Maybe it's dislocated, but either way, it's miserable.
Yep.
The pain between your finger being dislocated or broken, that being burned into your hand being held as I've described, it literally sends you to your knees, just like burning into your hands. She then grabs your like other hand and she holds it over the other one, holds your hands together, so the burning is like literally burning through the back of one of your hands and starts burning over the other one. And she's like, feel it. Feel the passion, feel the power, feel all of it as it courses through you. Let it burn. And she is holding you there. And again, this is nothing like anything you've ever heard of a priestess of Lady Areville. What the fuck do you say or do anything?
He would be like yelling, looking at like he would probably yell, "What the fuck?" He'd probably like when like he's got both hands like trapped, would be like screaming and looking around at the other guards, looking like just with like help, someone help sort of thing.
You can see that as this is happening, the guards and everybody are starting to freak out, and she's like looking down at you as you're starting like holding back, and it's one of those things where you're still holding on and you're still holding this thing and haven't like fainted or anything yet. You're pretty far, but yeah, you still haven't fainted or anything yet. And You can see, like, literally as this continues, she says, "You have to understand, boy, your soul does not belong to you. Your soul belongs to Kraylene. That is how you were born, and that is how you will die." And you can feel the burning in your hands is so fucking great. Oh, is it the effigy? Or is it her hands? Because now the back of your hands, and starting to roll up them, there's a flame. There's a fire starting to burn up the back of your hands, starting to roll up your arms. You can literally smell your skin burning. You can see it melting. You can see it charring as she's looking into you with this like ferocity, this fucking crazed look, and just the fire starting to burn up your arms. Sorry.
It's okay.
So anyways, starting to burn up your arms. And you can feel it. You can feel what she's saying is not wrong. Everything she's telling you, it's right. Your soul doesn't belong to you. Your soul does not belong to you. It does belong to the pain is so much. You can barely even keep your eyes open. They're watering. She's a blur. There's noises happening behind you. You think they're shouting. You're not sure what's happening behind you. It's too much going on. But you see something. A hallucination, most likely. A light. Almost like an orb. Above you. Behind her. It catches your attention. You fixate on it. You can see this simple, glowing, pure white orb throbbing there. You can see there's a crazed look in her eye. You can see that. Tension's there, but you can see that. Is she gonna kill you? What can you do? The commotion's going on even further behind you. She takes a step back, her hands released from you. Your arms are fucking ruined. There's literally pools of flesh on the ground from where it's melted off of you because of how hot it was, deep into your bone, superheated. She takes a step back. She throws her arms open wide. Words are said. Who knows what they are? And with both of her hands fanning outwards and in, over your shoulders and around you, fire furls out around you. The heat, the flames licking behind and all around, engulfing everybody else in this room. Maybe everybody, maybe only some of them, you don't know. There was screams, the fire so hot you can feel it burning your face. You look up again. The orb is no longer near the ceiling. It's right there before you. You can feel your life is leaving you. You take a breath, just instinctively, because you know this is the end. The orb flies in as you take that breath, almost like it was taken in by the current of your air. Lands somewhere inside of you. She's right. Your soul doesn't belong to you. But she's wrong. It doesn't belong to Kraylene either. There's someone else. There's someone else that holds your soul, and not as a toy, not as a currency. Someone else that holds your soul as a dear, dear child, close to their bosom, and loves you. Immediately you know the name. You know who she is, and you feel her power. What do you do, Ilen?
Okay. So, feeling that, he's probably still not thinking properly. There isn't much like conscious choice, more reaction. And I think just as a sudden thing, he's going to ignite, but not in the way that she was expecting. Instead of fire igniting, his entire body lights up in this sort of bright light fire, like white fire flames.
You glow with these white flames, sheds light, literally turning the inside of this place, which has some candlelight, whatever inside here, keeping it dim, to being almost like a beacon inside of here. I mean, granted, you can see the light is only within 10 feet or whatever, but it's still a bright light inside of the temple. That usually that makes it very visible from outside, looking through the windows and whatnot. Right? Go ahead.
Yep. So he would start by healing himself a bit, but of course his arms don't heal. He might look a little stronger. Some of his cuts on his head might heal up. His arms don't. And he's gonna look around the room, just like brief look. Is everyone else on fire? Is everyone else dead?
You look around the room. Everybody, like, it's one of those things where everything's almost like slow motion. As you just like,
yeah,
you give that kind of quick look over your shoulder. It's like a 2-second at most glance, and you look and everything's kind of like in slow motion as you see the people that were like in chains before are like lying either dead on the ground or still burning, whatever the case may be. Even one of the guards is lying there like writhing in pain, clearly is like on his way out. Another one of the guards is trying to like run and get away, but while looking angered and confused, you can see that the guy that originally captured you literally is at mid-throw of a dagger from behind, and it's clearly going to be a bullseye hit between the blades of that guard's back. The last guard is literally rushing forward and trying to attack at her, who literally just set that one on fire that's trying to run away, that one that's dying on the ground, those other people that are either on fire or dying on the ground. He's drawing a weapon trying to run at her. Go ahead.
What about Laura? Is she dead?
You look down at the ground. You don't know if she is or if she isn't. But again, she's lying there on the ground.
He is going to turn towards the priestess. And all the fire around them suddenly flashes, just massive bursts. The entire room fills with light. Some of the fire goes out, some of it doesn't, because I imagine that's all the fire in the room probably equals more than what it can put out. But it puts out some and just flash in the room.
Beautiful. It's literally one of those things where you flash. The guard that was running at her is like swings wildly and misses horribly. The dagger, which is already mid-throw, hits the guy in the back, but the one throwing the dagger, who is super exposed because he's like, when he threw it, can't react in time. He's also blinded. She quickly like throws an arm up in front of her face. Whether or not she's blinded, you're not entirely sure. She may or may not have been. Go ahead.
So then, just once again, this is all on instinct. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's reacting and he's angry. And so he raises his arm, and out of his arm comes scorching rays.
She's not exactly wearing armor. She's not exactly wearing protective spells. A 13's a pretty fucking high chance to hit against somebody that's not armed or armored, spells up or anything like that. 30 points of damage, Tesh.
What an opening spell.
What an opening spell. You immediately, and then this is so you may fire one ray plus one additional ray for every 4 levels beyond third. You are level 7, boy. You get to throw that again.
Oh, yes. Well, we know who the other person who's catching a ray then. Or hopefully catching.
Well, it's up to you. Do you want to attack her or him?
Well, the second ray, I want to hit him.
Okay.
Like just in a reaction.
Perfect. So you take the ray and you just blast her in the chest with the ray, and you just kind of like feel the energy, so much of it, you just like blast him with the ray as well. He takes You can kind of see maybe he was also caught in a bit of that spray of fire she did before, but didn't hurt him too bad. But this, you literally, he's like, "Ah!" And as he like throws his arms backwards, you can literally see his clothing, his everything is just like burnt completely to a crisp off of him as he like takes a couple stumbles backwards and then falls. Like his body is so weak, his muscles are so charred and weakened by the fire that you can hear his back crack as he falls backwards and trips over one of the like the pews or whatever that inside the place and lies there motionless. The flame at her chest, you can see it like burns against her chest, and she's like, ah! She like calls out in pain herself. But at the same time, you can almost see that as much as it's hitting her, with him was completely absorbed into him and affected entirely his body. With her, it hits her, but it almost looks like there's a bit of a spray, right? Like if you were to drop water into a pan, there's a bit of a spray that comes off as well as what gets stuck there. And you can see it kind of like spraying off. Maybe it didn't affect her as much as you had hoped, but it definitely friggin' hurt her. She immediately reacts with casting a spell on you. You can roll a will save, sorry.
There's will.
All of a sudden, you feel every muscle in your body completely freeze. You can't move. You feel inside of you rage, everything. You feel all this power, this rage that you want to take out against her. But she finishes casting a spell, and all of a sudden, you stop. You stop moving. And she holds her chest where she's burned, and literally, like you literally burn open the clothes that's right there. So she puts her hand over her chest, one covering the scar, and also to hide herself, right? That's there, and she looks at you, and she's like, like partially, you don't even need to roll a sense motive. Or actually, feel free, roll a sense motive off your character sheet.
Okay.
Beautiful. So it's funny that it has that 3 on there.
Yeah, what is that? I didn't add that. It looks like it's an emoticon thing that someone might have added to it.
You wrote, yeah. I know what that was from the other sheet. You rolled off the wrong sheet for the sense motive.
I didn't.
You sure?
Because his +2. What? Yeah, I'm clicking. I'm clicking this one.
Do you know why it probably is? I bet I can tell you exactly why it is. Oh, you wasted that beautiful roll. It's because you have 2 sheets with the exact same name. It's confusing the algorithm.
Okay. Yep, fair enough. Let me alter. I can edit this one's name then.
Edit the other one. Yep.
Yep. Okay.
There you go. Now roll with the correct one. Too bad you wasted that beautiful roll. You should probably just take that. Yeah, we should probably just take that.
Yeah, but it's working now at least because that's the right number.
Yeah, we found out. Either way, so you look at her and you can see that she's both confused and relieved that the spell worked on you, and so she's like holding herself there. She's like, so Kraylene does still have a part of your soul. Good. We'll meet again. And she turns and she moves quickly, like retreating quickly, out of the temple, out the front door. When you hear the front door opens and you're still stuck there, you can't move. You can hear people in the streets are literally reacting to the fact that she is coming. Like, hey, what was that? What's going on? What the hell's going on? So you become paralyzed in place. On each of your turn, you can try a new saving throw. Roll again.
Okay.
Roll again.
Hey.
Roll again.
Again, damn it.
Roll again.
Oh, one of these days I'll...
After 30 seconds from when you were frozen, she said that line and then just completely ran from there. It's been 30 seconds. There's no way you're going to be able to catch her. Besides...
He's going to look around at the room of I assume most of the people are dead now. And just almost just on instinct, just not even realizing what he's doing, suddenly a massive burst of energy comes out from him. And it looks like, if you imagine like when a jet engine, you see the force of just the sudden wind, that just sort of roars out of him for a split second.
The guard
and,
did
yeah, obviously gonna avoid one person in particular because I selective channeling. So
the guard, right?
The guard.
Okay, so the guard that had been kind of like rolling around on the ground in pain, kind of like, kind of like comes to life. The one that had been blinded is kind of there. It's almost like you were able to look at that guard like, fuck you. And she's like, boom. But the other one was able to receive it and kind of looks around. He's like, oh, I'm whole. I'm whole again. Sounds like little burn marks on him. He's like, oh, I thought I was going to die. He says, like, rolling there on the ground, rolling around. And he's literally rolling around on the ground right next to where your sister lies.
She's gonna walk over. I assume she's not moving at all. And there's going to be a massive amount of bright light when he goes to touch her, even if it, doesn't do anything. It's just this. And he's just stop and look at the guard.
He looks back at you, like, but you're still glowing. So it's one of those, like, kind of squinting, looking at you.
Yep.
And, like, backing away. Like, because he's still on the ground. The other guard has, like, kind of gotten up completely. Look at, sees you there, and he's trying to, like, run out the door. This one's just, like, on the ground, like, backing away.
He goes to, like, raise his arm as if he's going to do another one of the beams, and then it's just... It drops. He's now normal again.
You feel fatigue. You feel exhausted. So much drain from you. But as it drops, oh my God, the pain. Your arm drops. And you realize lifting it again would probably... Have you ever thrown out your shoulder, Tesh? Nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Nothing like the pain your character's feeling. Your arm drops, the glow is gone. You feel this pain when you look down and you see it. Your fingertips, the palm of your hand, your wrist, your forearm, all the way up. If there is flesh, it doesn't look like it. There's bone. You're pretty sure you can see it exposed. Is that your muscles and tendons there before your eyes? And all of it charred. All of it blackened before you.
He's gonna... He takes a moment. While he's just there looking at his arms, what does the guard that he lowered his arm from do?
He scrambled backwards, like I said. He ends up getting up and running out the door, same as the other one ran out the door.
He just stops and looks at the room of dead.
Looks at his sister.
Oh. Shite.
You see your sister. You see everything I've described right there.
He looks back down at his sister. Just the loudest scream, just complete and utter, just like pain, emotion, everything, just for a good 10 seconds of screaming. And then he runs.
You hear 10 seconds of screaming. Sorry. You hear a voice. Something that probably calms him just ever so slightly. It's the voice of a man. It's calm. It's even. And it simply says, they're safe. They're with her. A part of me for all of them.
That would he wouldn't know why, but that definitely calms him. He starts looking around, realizes what the situation is, that there are guards, there are soldiers here that are dead, and what he's done. And he's going to run straight out the door, doesn't really stop to look around, just runs to the closest place he thinks he might get away, north.
Honestly, north almost seems instinctive. Almost feels like it's the only way to go. Something in the north is calling to you. You felt strange these past few weeks or anything anyways. Everything's felt a little off. But that aside, as you head north, something feels more right as you feel north. Continuing your trek a couple of days, you see them. There's a camp. There are a bunch of soldiers. They're on a hill. They have a makeshift ranger tower. It's not that high up, maybe only 5 meters or so in the air. Makeshift small ranger tower that's set up for them to kind of scout from the top of a hill. You don't know how many soldiers there are. How does your character react? Does he approach them, try to avoid them?
Almost on instinct. Just he looks around and looks for a bit of shrubbery, a bit of something that can ignite, and just so it ignites, and then he runs to the point where he can still see it, but he's as far away from it as he can get, and he turns around, and it ignites. It tries to sort of make a flash, a thing to get their attention.
What's 4 times 7? That's 28, right?
Yeah.
680 feet away, you can cast that pyrotechnic spell. So funny.
He's getting real far away.
Yeah, you set a bunch of like a bush fire. All of a sudden it's like friggin' fireworks. Beautiful.
And he's once again, he's doing this all on instinct. He barely understands what he's doing, but he's doing it.
It's almost like you're not even gesturing towards it, just happening.
Yeah.
Anyways, as you run north and past them, clearly there's a reaction of the army, but if they follow you or not, honestly, you don't pay attention. You've been running for days. You haven't found food. You've drank a little water. You're almost like sustained on whatever this is inside you, at least for now. Eventually, at some point in time, you just happen to come around another bend or take another step, whatever it is. You take a step, not while you're running, while you're walking, and you freeze. You stop. Your foot steps somewhere, and it feels right. It feels belonging. You take another step. Something here. This is where you're meant to be. Whatever this warmth is, whatever this comfortable feeling I have is, every time you stop and you think about it and these powers erupt from you, the pain that is your horrifying arms goes away, even just for moments. Every time you feel it flare up in you and you feel it closer to you, that pain is gone. Like a drug. Just for moments. But nothing addictive. Nothing that's like, it makes you, it's just...
Yeah.
It's like the happiness overcomes you so much. As you continue traveling forward, you feel that brightness inside of you. You become a little bit more of an introvert. Introspective. Become a little bit more aware. It's a strange sensation. You've always lived your life the way you've lived your life, and then when that came to you, when it entered into you, you felt the strength of it. But inside of you, you swear. You feel like there's a war inside, a struggle. You know how sometimes if you do something naughty, something like,
Yeah.
something you weren't supposed to do, and you should own up to it, but at the same time, you're not going to. And you probably now, me even just saying this makes you think of something, and you still.
I have to very quickly go to the bathroom. I am busting.
Oh, that's funny. You go right ahead.
It's we waited too long before the show. Give me a second.
No, you're perfectly fine. We're sitting there chatting for so long, and this is honestly, we usually do 1 hour breaks, and this is at 1 hour and 45. So I had a beer, and I thought I was gonna have to pee at some point in time during this. I'm like, Tesh, entertain him for a second. And realistically, I could clip the VOD to make that go away, but let's all be serious. We know I'm a one take kind of guy. I don't do any of that post production edit crap. Way too lazy for that. Besides, we all know why you're really here. To listen to that music. It is beautiful music, isn't it? God, I love the Witcher soundtrack. Hello, sir. Welcome back.
Much better.
Hey, I think you can.
Sorry about that.
Don't be.
The
Anyways,
Witcher soundtrack is amazing. Okay.
it is. I told my wife, I was like, oh yeah, I'm heading down to meet him at like 10. I'll be done in like 2 hours. I'll be in bed by midnight. We
Oops.
start recording till midnight. It's 2 a.m. She's be like, uh-huh. I'm like,
Yeah, sure.
just hanging out with Tesh. She's like, good. Don't complain to me when you're tired tomorrow. Continuing, you can feel, like, again, like I said, like, if you do something that makes you feel guilty, and like you can't fess up to it, even though you should. You're not going to fess up to it. You're not going to return whatever that was that you did. It's not going to be correct. And you feel that war. You know you're a decent person. You know you're better than this. But at the same time, you're going to choke it down and deal with it. You can almost feel that kind of war going on inside of you. And sometimes it's soothing. And sometimes it burns. But it's still there. It's always there. And sometimes one bit of that comes out with a huge flare. And sometimes it comes out with a warm glow. But sometimes Ilen can find a balance where the two of them can almost come out together. It's a war that's going to rage in him for some time. We'll see if he ever finds that balance. But most importantly, is that a town? Oh my God, you haven't seen a town in days. Oh, the idea of actual food. Your stomach rumbles almost immediately. You need food. You're hungry. The sun is coming up behind you. And you need food. It has literally been days. You've had water. And don't get me wrong, Ilen could have lost a couple of pounds. He's been comfortable for some time, but starvation is no healthy way of handling it, yes?
He was he was taking him with the clothes he had, right? He probably would have had the jacket he has, obviously nothing in it. He's gonna take that off, rip it a little bit, try and wrap his arms with it, try and cover his arms as much as he can.
He does that, try to wrap up his arms to the best of his ability.
Doesn't do it neatly, cannot do it neatly right now. Too much pain.
While he's wrapping his arms, he thinks of his mother, wrapping at wounds. He looks down. He can still see the cuts and where it cut the muscle beneath his skin. He can still see the spot that his sister had pulled that bit of glass out of. It's cauterized days ago, so I guess that's good. But there's no flesh over these muscles you can see. Just charred muscle and tendon and bone. He's distracted. Probably weeps.
I imagine so.
It's maybe 5 minutes from the town. He stands up. Oh. At least there's somebody between here and the town who can find out its name. Maybe you should go ask that person the name of the town. He goes walking up to them.
Hey.
They don't respond.
Hello? Hey.
It turns around. If only the horrors of what he had to live through were over. Whatever this is, it is a whole new horror. Its jaw hanging from its mouth, hoof prints on its chest, big gash in its side. Whatever horror this is, it's not alone. Those aren't farmers out in this field. And however many they are, whatever they are, they're coming this way. And it's Tesh. That, sir, is where we're going to end our session.
Okay, I like it. Oh, sorry I couldn't hold on a little longer. No. I've been holding it since we got captured. No, I was just like, oh.
Captured indeed, right?
Yep. Oh, I love how that turned out.
Yeah. I'm very happy. I was like, okay, I really want to have that transitional moment for the character where he goes from NPC character sheet to PC character sheet.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, I'm glad to meet Ilen.
Yeah. I'm excited. Yeah.
So, chat or viewers or Patreon or whoever it is that I'm talking to, you know who you are. Needless to say, he comes with some baggage.
A little bit.
I mean, let's be serious here. Meshtes to Herod. Oh, spoiler alert, it's Herod. It's 50 miles, which means that the Zeds come in within 20 miles before, most likely. It's 50 miles on foot. Pathfinder, movement. You're what, medium-sized person? So if you assume your character's actually traveling at base speed 30 a day, technically speaking, they should be able to move 24 miles a day if they knew where they were going, if they had normal speed, so on and so forth. More likely, you're moving half of that.
Yeah, he would be able to move at like full speed.
Meaning, Mommy probably died 5 days ago. I mean,
yeah, not long at all. It's coming in hot.
It's coming in hot. All right. Well, Tesh, that was a pleasure.
It was. I am very happy with how that turned out. It was what I was hoping for when I was like, I gave you the start of it and gave you some stuff to play with, and I'm like, okay, let's do this.
Tesh actually really wanted to, in honor of the anniversary, which was last Friday, which was the 3rd of April, he wanted to have this pre-recorded so that we can give it to the patrons in advance, like how we always did beforehand, and for that Friday to air it on Twitch. At the very least, for us to play it live on Twitch that Friday. Unfortunately, with COVID, with my schedule being crazy and all that stuff, we were not able to honor the 1 year anniversary day. Yeah, but it was nonetheless
still really close.
Yeah, it was a lot.
I'm happy that it was this close. It's a fortuitous time that this all went down.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a year of us playing D&D together, which is nice. You know what I mean? From my watching you on Ollie's channel and being like, this guy more fun badass. And obviously we had friends together and whatnot. So, And here we are, hanging out for over 2 hours prior to the session because we come.
And then be like, we should probably start. Like, it's probably a thing we should do.
Yeah, I need sleep. I have to work tomorrow.
Yeah,
I
that's
told
gonna be
my
interesting
wife
for
I'm
you.
gonna go for a walk. My work's weird now. My schedule, if it's a normal schedule, it's like 10:30 in the morning to like 7 at night, which is like weird hours for me.
Ooh, yeah.
And it's in my house. I don't have to leave. So in theory, I should be able to get up early enough to have breakfast with my family and go for like a walk with them in the neighborhood and enjoy it before I start. But honestly, I end up being up so fucking late doing things every night that I don't. So yeah. So
Yep.
and my boss keeps being like, "Hey, cool. Thanks for taking over this responsibility and that responsibility. Thank you." By the way, like literally, you're not allowed to work earlier than 10:30 unless you're scheduled that way, because you can work that out. You're not allowed to work after 7. Calling me at like 6:55 and being like, "Oh hey, listen, thank you so much for blah blah blah. Can you just do this thing for me really quickly? Oh, that 45-minute project. I gotcha, of course." You can't.
Yeah.
I don't know. Tesh, you strike me as the kind of person that when you're at work, you're like, I can't say no.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
I have to be invaluable. You know what I mean? It's like I need this. I can't be. I have to be invaluable. I feel like people smell that in you too. They're like,
Oh yeah.
You need
100%.
yeah. You're like, oh, it sucks.
As my sister says, I'm too nice for my own good.
Yeah. It's just I'm just one of those things like, oh God, because it's one of those like I have like they're like, I know you have responsibilities in life. I know you're locked in. Like how are you gonna pay for that mortgage? How are you gonna do that? What is it called? Secondary education for your child.
Yeah, there we go.
Yep. Good luck. Yep, you got both testes, one grip. It's a big hand. It's a big hand, young lady. You got them. So, anyways, if it's any revenge, I just found out that my boss, that she's 3.5, 4 years older than me, and I thought she was like 14 years older than me. So there's revenge right there. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. I was like, oh, you don't have a decade on me. It was even one of those things on the conference call. She goes, how old did you think I was? And I was like, my mother taught me to never guess a lady's age. Oh. Tesh?
Are we back?
Yeah, it's probably just Zoom having issues because of how many people have been using them lately.
Yep, probably.
It's a little freaky, won't lie.
Yeah, that was weird. It just sort of stopped and then closed and then opened itself again.
Yeah, same for me as well. And remember, Zoom's been getting hacked a lot lately too, which is a little concerning. So, have you heard about those?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, That's why it's always. That's why it requires me. Like when you log in, does it put you in a waiting room, or does it say like waiting for?
It puts me in a waiting room. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'll wait for blah to let you in.
Exactly. That never used to happen before. You just click the
Yeah.
link, and you never used to need passwords before. It's to make you click the password and no, because they give you a direct link.
No, direct link allows me to go straight to that.
Yeah, I've had to direct link and password and be allowed in before for calls. So they've had to increase their security.
I know that Ollie was having issues recording Zoom now because it's got a lot more restrictive about that now.
No. That's how long has he been having those issues?
Like a couple days.
Oh, okay, that's different. I'm having no issues with that.
No, it literally was like, this week we loaded it up and it's like
it could be. I'm just speculating here. It could be Zoom had an update like month. Like
we're pretty sure it was the update. We're pretty sure it was the update.
So he was just able to avoid the update for a long time, and it just finally hit him. We're still recording, which is funny. But
no, I'm not updated, and so I can record still. Easily.
But him, I mean. So if he's still having issues, so just like a shout out to him. Hey, are you still having issues with the whole recording thing? And if so, give me a shout out and I'll let you guys know how to get around that, because I figured it out and I had to teach a couple other people how to do it.
Oh,
So
okay, cool.
like I fixed the problem. Like I googled the problem. Let's be serious. Some other smart person fixed it, and I'll gladly share the information so that there's no, because it was having issues. Actually, the session 0 for Josh, for Josh and Thronekeeper, we were literally, it's like a 3-hour session 0 or 4-hour set, whatever it was, and our faces are frozen for like 2/3 of it.
Oh no!
Yeah, it's just I'm in a face like this. I'm in the middle of saying void, so I'm saying it's between the O and the I and void. So void. For like
That's brilliant.
2 hours. Yeah, if you go on my YouTube channel and you look up like Laszlo's character thing and just fast forward straight to like 3/4 of the way through, just stare at our faces. That's our face for most of the session. It's so funny. Anyways,
That's fantastic.
Let's bounce out of here. It's been 2 hours.
Yep.
Well, over 4 hours hanging out, but 2 hours for this.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say on the outro for this recording?
No, because by the time this goes up, there's nothing that a birthday stream I can say, because it's got to go up before the session. So the 9th, my time, 8th for America and UK, I'm going to be doing a birthday stream. Don't know what, don't know exactly when. Likely going to be around about 9-10 p.m. EST.
Well, in the middle of that session, it's transitioning into your birthday. Because we go live at like 7 a.m. my time now, because... it's going halfway through, it transitions into my birthday. Yep. Because when we go live at 7 a.m. my time right now, because of work, like I was saying, I can go start a little bit later on Wednesdays. Yep. 7 a.m. my time is like hold on, so plus 5, that's 8:30 p.m. for you or something like that.
Well, no, when we start. Oh, actually, yeah, no, it is going to be around that time. Yeah,
it's 8:30 p.m. for you. So at the tail end of the session, it becomes your birthday.
Yep,
that's cool.
And
we'll have to do something for that.
Ooh, I like the sound of that. But yeah, so sometime around 10-11 p.m. EST, I'm going to be doing a stream. Don't know what yet. I've got a couple ideas, but I've got to pick some people.
Cool. Awesome. Well, I gotta pee. I had a beer.
Fair.
You know.
Fair.
So and coffee before that because it's very work. So, all right. I was gonna record another Patreon video, but nope. Tesh is too cool, so you guys have to wait.
My bad.
Tesh. Yep. Yeah. It's all good. All right. Let's bounce out of here. Let's go. Away screen. Oh, I probably should have uncensored your name now, but fuck them.
It's fine.
Fuck them.